Hey guys, welcome to a very special San Diego Comic-Con recap. There's just so much news that we figured, you know what? We might as well just get together in the middle of the week and break it all down. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. We couldn't wait till Saturday for the main show. Just couldn't do it, couldn't wait. Got to do it
Much.
now. Say hello if you're watching us live. We have so much stuff to get into. So before we do, real quick, as always, want to let you guys know where you can find us all over the place. All of our stuff is always in the link tree of the description of anything we're doing. There's a link tree there with links to all of our stuff. Patreon.com/the Comics Pals. For as little as $3 a month, you can get access to our newsletter. And there's a lot of other cool stuff you can do. So check that out. Watch us live every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern for Pals Pulls, where we review comics. And then Saturdays for the main show at 10:15 Eastern a.m. YouTube.com/the Comics Pals. Subscribe for free, like the video, share it with your friends. All that's free to do. Helps us out a lot more than it costs you. Okay, so San Diego Comic-Con was this past weekend. And there were so many cool things announced. Like, I can't believe how many cool things there were. Stuff we expected, stuff we knew was coming. And then I would say, like, at least a few things that no one talked about that I didn't see coming at all. So we're running the gamut here from all the Marvel stuff, from the movies to the comics. We're going to be talking about the DC side of things. We're also going to be doing a few announcements that aren't from either company. So lots of cool stuff to come. We're going to start with Marvel. Hall H. Marvel blessed Hall H with their presence this year. And, we talked on the main show about how they might hold back a bit. I would say they didn't hold back.
By no means. They went all out. Balls to the walls, boys.
I guess so.
They held back?
I don't think they held back. I think there wasn't a real bombshell. These are all been like rumored stuff, like not even rumored, just like expected things, or like there's already been like directors announced for certain projects, like Thunderbolts. It wasn't as big as I think when they announced the Disney Plus stuff. Like that was huge, a ton of shit there. But still a lot of stuff. I mean, much better than DC's panel, which included two trailers that we've already known about, and The Rock lighting people's wrists up. But yeah.
Lighting people's wrists up.
He was in full. We'll get to it when we talk about that, I guess.
All right.
So, all right. So, Marvel put out the entire Phase 5 lineup. They revealed it all. Miss Minutes was, doing her thing, Miss Minutes from Loki, and she kind of, introduced everyone to Phase 5. And a lot of it is stuff we knew. I would say pretty much all of it is stuff we knew, with 3 exceptions. So I'm going to run them down real quick, and then we'll dive into, the ones that we need to dive into. So Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania kicks off Phase 5. I think we all thought that it was a part of Phase 4, but as it turns out, She-Hulk and Black Panther are the end of Phase 4. So Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania kicks off Phase 5, February 17th, 2023.
And you guys saw the trailer they have on YouTube, right?
No.
Screen Crush did that wasn't
Nope.
so. You guys didn't see that?
Nope.
I
Nope.
don't know.
I did see.
Well-
I was sending some friends a link that said like, "Oh, Ant-Man Quantumania trailer," and like the thumbnail was it. But when you opened it up, it was just that same clip from Mac and Me that Paul Rudd always shares
you
on
know
a
what?
Conan show.
Phil said that to me, and
Yeah, he's the one who sent it to me.
So funny. I was like, oh, I wonder if I could trick the guys with that, and I went, no, Sean will not appreciate that. He does not have a sense of humor at all.
You could do it, but I'm just not going to fall for it.
Yeah,
We're gonna no sell it.
I fell for it.
We'll be talking about Ant-Man and the Wasp a little more in a moment, but I'm just going to run through these. Secret Invasion on Disney Plus, that's coming in the spring. They actually did show a little bit of stuff from that. We'll talk about that. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, May 5th, 2023. Echo on Disney Plus in the summer. Loki, Season 2 in the summer. The Marvels, July 28th, 2023. So 2023 is packed.
We
Like-
gonna be busy.
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
It seems
it's
almost
fun.
overly packed, like ready for delays. Like,
That's what we said. That's what we said about this year, and it didn't happen.
Yeah. I
Fair,
wonder
fair.
if we're gonna be in like now coming out of this or coming into this, we're just gonna start to feel that Marvel fatigue again. Because I remember coming
Again?
out of, again. Do you not remember feeling just like, all right, I'm glad that the I guess pandemic helped to push back things and just give us a larger break.
let's quote Marco on that. I'm glad about the pandemic.
Let's not clip that. Let's not
Marco,
clip this.
First of all, dude, you're in a league of your own with that one. I did not feel the need for a break personally,
Right. Yeah.
but I know a lot of people did. You're right about that.
I saw a meme that was Homer Simpson getting fed by like that demon, like all those donuts, but it was like, oh, here's the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and then like he just keeps eating it, and the guy's like, well, DC gave out after 7 movies, some stupid like that.
Unreal. Ironheart is coming in the fall on Disney Plus. Blade, November 3rd. We're still in 2023. Agatha, Coven of Chaos on Disney Plus. It's going to be winter 2023 or some early point in 2024. And then 3 projects rather, that were not officially announced, but they are the sort of the major announcements from this part of the event. Daredevil Born Again on Disney Plus in spring of 2024. Captain America New World Order on May 3rd, 2024. And Thunderbolts, July 26, 2024.
Okay, you're gonna tell me you're not excited for Daredevil?
Oh man,
Come on.
I don't like this stuff. What do you want?
But you liked Daredevil.
I like the first season of Daredevil.
All right, well, I can't. Do
I didn't see the rest of it, so I don't know.
I can't.
What?
I'm busy.
It's Catholic
fix
Guild,
the
the
suit?
TV show. I loved it.
They did good stuff on the suit.
Hey, what's up, CW Gordon? Well, let's jump back. Let's jump back to Ant-Man and Wasp. We're not necessarily going to dive in all of these, but some of these I think are important to talk about. So, Ant-Man and Wasp starts Phase 5, and I think that's really interesting because a comment was made by, I believe it was the director, who was talking about Janet Van Dyne's time in the quantum realm, and how that changed her, and how that portion of her life and what she knows from her time there is going to be an important part of the movie. And he slipped in the line. He said, the quantum realm, which isn't what you think it is. That got my gears turning. What if, and because we know Kang's in the movie, and Jonathan Majors was all over this Hall H. So what if the quantum realm is actually like a nexus point or a connection point for the multiverse, a way for you to travel within the multiverse?
I always felt the quantum realm was where we were in the TVA and Loki.
Yes, and exactly
Yeah.
right.
Like, I think the idea is like, oh, you just shrunk down. You're the same size as, I don't know, amoebas and shit. Like, I think there's more than that. I think there is a barrier being broken
Right.
once you go small enough. I always feel like it's like where the TVA is, or where a Mortis or whatever they called Kang in Loki. I always felt like that's where that existed.
Because that's once you go small enough, like time stops, right? Like, wasn't that part of Ant-Man, or am I thinking of?
It's usually what I tell the ladies, Cal.
Wait,
I'm not sure time stops, but I think there is a time aspect of it. I'm not sure if it
like something
outright
goes
stops.
on.
Yeah,
With it.
yeah. So it's worth pointing out that MODOK They did show, I believe, footage, and MODOK was shown,
Yeah.
and
I did see shaky cam footage of it.
oh, you did? I did not. How did it look?
It was only about the top third of the screen, so like all I could see was like most of Bill Murray's face and then like MODOK's like beam thingy. Like that's all I could see.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is not the animated series, like
No,
legit,
this is-
like live
Yeah.
action thing.
Yeah, this is the Ant-Man movie.
Ant-Man 3, essentially. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you watch the same trailer as Kel or something?
Yeah, MODOK definitely wasn't in that trailer.
MODOK's great. This shows why they did that weird show, the MODOK show. They were building him up for something. I think this was it. I don't know what the fuck he has to do with any of this, but I can't really think of a better place to put him. Like I could see him in Captain America: New World Order, but I think this is a zanier, wackier space, and he goes there.
All right, I'll have a lot more fun with MODOK than anybody else, pretty much.
Do you have
Yeah.
a casting for MODOK you'd like? Like a voice? I already have mine.
Oh, a voice.
No.
Yeah.
No,
Gilbert
I don't.
Gottfried.
He's
R.I.P.
gone.
He's
It's Disney.
Gilbert
They'll
Gottfried.
dig him up
Yeah.
and puppet him around. It'll be
Yeah, they
fun.
use AI. They have
for
plenty of Iago voice lines they could use.
Yeah.
Because it's Paul Rudd, I want Seth Rogen to be the voice of MODOK.
That's
That'd be
absurd.
funny.
That is absurd.
I can
Just
kind of
play
see
on
that,
that.
actually.
Yeah. Like, not his face, obviously, but, like, definitely his voice.
Oh, his face. Yeah, do his face.
Oh man. Yeah, I don't know who I would want, but so I had a few more thoughts. So if the Kang, and this ties into my thought about what the quantum realm is. If the Kang of our universe is Immortus, is that what you all got out of Loki?
Sorta, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
because if I remember correctly, he was the first one or the oldest
Right,
one.
the oldest one.
I think that's
And
Immortus,
kind
yeah.
of good, gray
Yeah,
area,
right.
yeah.
So if we all agree to that, then who is it that is going to be antagonizing Ant-Man, Wasp, and the crew in this film? Which Kang? Is it the TVA Kang, the one who took over at the end of Loki? Is it a Kang from another part of the multiverse that has come through? And they're the first ones to encounter him because this is where you come when you move through the multiverse.
Do we know for certain that Kang is supposed to be the antagonist?
100% he is in the movie as an antagonist, yeah.
So then we're gonna assume that it's not Immortus, right? It could be any other variation of at that point.
Exactly.
In terms of
What's the other
specificity,
one, Sean? What's the other? There's a third Kang that's pretty popular.
Ramatut, Scarlet
Yeah.
Centurion. I
Iron
wasn't
Lad.
Iron Lad. I wasn't suggesting, by the way, like which one, so much as just like which, like from where in the like, is it another Kang from outside in the multiverse? Did one break through?
I see. Okay.
If my TVA theory is right, then I think it's the same one.
The one that runs the TVA now.
Yeah.
But it'd be a different like aged version, right? Because this isn't the thing that
Sure,
right.
yeah.
So like it'll
I
be.
mean-
Yeah.
According to the part that I saw on the shaky cam and reports, it's like classic Kang minus like the blue face, but he's got the whole outfit.
Right.
So
That's awesome, by the way.
I know. I wished it was Blueface, but
Yeah.
it
Well,
still
it's
might be a little
2022,
early
Tyler.
for. I
Can't-
guess you can't do Blueface.
Can't do Blueface.
Skeeter from Doug canceled.
Big time.
So yeah, overall, I just think this sounds great. I wasn't as excited for this movie, but the addition of MODOK, and now that we've seen all of the Phase 4 pretty much and kind of know what's going on with Kang, and we have confirmation that this whole thing is called the Multiverse Saga. Now I'm more excited for what Ant-Man and Wasp's place could be in all of that. Seems cool,
I'm excited to see who Bill Murray's playing.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kang's dad.
Bill Murray.
Yeah, he showed up in the trailer.
So is there a trailer or is there not a trailer?
There was a trailer shown to people at Hall H that is not released to the public.
Yeah.
And any real version of it that was videotaped or recorded is either almost impossible to actually watch because of the angle, or it's been scrubbed by Disney. So
I see. Right. Okay.
Yeah. I don't have too much to say about a lot of this other stuff. Secret Invasion, they did show footage from that. And I read a synopsis. It seems like it's going to actually be tonally closer to what I think most people would want from a show like that. More of a like spy kind of conspiracy vibe.
yeah,
So that's cool. I'm into that.
yeah. I think they could easily get to the bad Skrulls too by explaining the blip. Like, oh, Skrulls took over for people who blipped out. You know, like took over in their absence.
Oh.
That's horrifying. Oh my god.
Yeah, and like there's like maybe zealot Skrulls out there, and then Sam Jackson and his good Skrulls are like, whoa, no, don't fuck with these guys. These guys are fucked up. Here's Varanki. You know what I mean? Like,
Wow, man.
and then what's our face? Our good Skrull gets killed and then replaced with another Skrull. So we have a double Skrull.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, dude. I know they're not going to do anything that cool, man. But it does look cool. What I read did seem fun and interesting. So I'm not down on it by any means. I'm actually up on it more than I was before I read that breakdown.
Yeah.
But your idea is phenomenal, Tyler.
But I also like the idea of Secret Invasion coming before Thunderbolts because, like, oh, those things historically have had connectors too. So,
Sure.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I suppose.
I just feel like Secret Invasion could have been its own tentpole storyline, and now they're kind of blowing it. But yeah, it is what it is.
If only we had that mini series that we were supposed to get. That was going to be something similar, you know.
The
comic
book.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guardians of the Galaxy. They showed off a little bit. They didn't want to put a trailer out. It seems like it's going to be fun. They announced High Evolutionary is the villain of that one.
Who looks fun.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
They did show Baby Rocket. So we're going to get Rocket's
Aw.
origin finally.
Yep, which ties into the evolutionary.
Can I
saw
pitch
the-
what happens? I want to pitch what happens in this one too.
Go for it.
You kill off everyone besides Adam Warlock, Groot, and Rocket. You keep those guys because Vin Diesel and Bradley Cooper, you can keep them going for a while. They sell merch. It's just voice lines. And then you rebuild them for Guardians Volume 4 with Phyla-Vell, Nova, Beta Ray Bill, and Moondragon. Bam. Do that shit.
That's not bad.
Book it.
I'm pitching it to Disney right now. Let me find their listings for jobs right now. I went to school for this. I could do it.
Chukwudi Iwuji from Peacemaker is playing High Evolutionary in this one.
He was great in
That's
Peacemaker
pretty
too.
Yeah, totally. And then we're also getting Cosmo the dog.
Played by the girl from the Borat sequel.
Yeah. Maria Baklova.
Wait, we're getting what?
Bakalova, rather. Cosmo
Cosmo.
the psychic dog.
Psychic. I've never heard of this.
Yeah, man.
You've never heard of Cosmo? I have a Cosmo plush here that I keep. Easier to try and scare my cat. Doesn't work.
It's adorable.
And then I guess the only other things we need to discuss: Daredevil Born Again, 18 episodes.
Woo!
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's more than a Netflix show, right?
Yeah, they were 10.
So
Yeah.
10 to 12.
Shit.
Look, television. In the time before streaming, television shows on networks, especially, 22 episodes.
Yeah. Think of like The Wire.
Right. The Wire, Sopranos. Not Sopranos wasn't 22, but even some of the highest quality shows we've ever had in television history have been long. So I don't think that the length precludes it from being good. I think it being bad precludes it from being good. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you write 18 strong episodes, you got 18 strong episodes.
Yeah. Gordon brings up a good question. Do you think it'll be weekly 18 episodes? Because that's quite a while to have it.
18
back-to-back.
weeks, that's 1/3 of a year.
I'm hoping they do like the
Chunks.
first 3 episode or something. Yeah, like a half and then a half. It's a lot.
imagine the conversation that the Disney will dominate. Like they wouldn't give a fuck.
That's a good point, actually.
I bet you
18
they-
weeks, like
Yeah.
they'll eat
trending
that up.
trending on Twitter. I'll take it.
I bet you they do 9 and 9 with a break in between.
I think they're gonna have to do something like that. I feel like 18 is just for a weekly thing. I think that's a lot, but like I'm just thinking about myself keeping up with that with no break, because even on network TV you get a buffer, so there's got to be some kind of
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Sorry,
go ahead.
did we see something about the Daredevil suit? I've seen rumors of a yellow.
Well, I guess
version
we'll talk
of the
about
suit.
it in a bit, but he did show up in the She-Hulk trailer.
Right.
Oh, neat.
I love this name too. I saw people sort of like down on the name. I think it's perfect.
I will say, the logo they came up with, boring as shit. Fix that. That's not a good logo. That's use the comic
Yeah.
one. That is just one font. There's 2 different fonts with a nice wide kerning. It's not good.
That's fair.
The
go ahead.
name though, I think, is apt. Like we're back to, like we're back at it, right? We're coming back again collectively. So I think it makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know why people were hating on it.
Do you think they tapped Frank Miller to work on it?
Absolutely.
No.
Not even
He's
a little
worked on movies, and before he's worked in film, I guess, to varying success. Or do you think they trot him out here saying, "Oh, consultant Frank Miller,"
Now that I could see. Yeah,
Yeah.
that I could see. They'll put his name in the credits for sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
why did you get
100%,
paycheck?
Well, maybe he gets a paycheck.
He'll
you got
get a
fedoras to buy.
paycheck, but the amount, I think,
Yeah.
who knows? Let's talk about Captain America: New World Order. So this is essentially Captain America 4, but with Sam Wilson, of course, in the titular role now. I was geeked up for this. This is one of the things that was on my list. Perfect title. New World Order. I think it works on a lot of different levels.
Big NWO guy, huh?
You know it. Too sweet.
Yeah.
I really, really hope that it maintains the same kind of vibe of the last movies, in the sense that it has that, conspiracy, spy, grittier feel to it, but don't shy away from race conversations either. That's what I want.
I have no idea who the villain could be. Like, to be honest.
Racists.
I mean, I guess so. I mean, they can tackle like what was what's his name? Who did Ta-Nehisi Coates' run on Captain America, where it dealt with like I guess the Red Skull taking the minds of the youth and pretty much using the manosphere of YouTube to radicalize people. Like, I think you could kind of maybe play on that, even though that was a Steve story. Seeing this,
Well,
like,
I was gonna ask if New World Order relates to anything specific to the comics, like if
No.
there's like an arc or something, because I figured that'd be you'll take from the name, right?
Not as far as I know, not from
No.
Sam's history. I think it works on the level of it's a new world order in the sense that, there's a black dude wearing Captain America's costume and he is Captain America, So that's a new world order right there. I also think that we're probably going to see some kind of a group, not necessarily calling themselves the New World Order, but operating along the lines of the, popular conspiracy theory. And commenting on the ways the world has changed since the blip.
yeah.
I think it'll function on those levels. I think we'll
Again?
see more of a man of the people in this Cap.
Yeah. Do you think it'll talk about that again? Because the blip stuff was, I guess, kind of tackled in the show.
Yeah, to some degree, but I don't think it reached its apex in terms of talking about how he leads in that new world. What is
Yeah.
his place in that? How does he, help the people deal with that?
The only thing I want is a cameo by J. Jonah Jameson, like on news. Like, I feel like he would kind of
That
work
would be
here.
good. That would be
Yeah.
good. Oh, we have a highlighted message from Matt Murphy. Hello, Matt. Have you guys commented on Frank Miller's depiction of Spider-Man's toes? What is this?
Oh, there's a variant he drew for an upcoming issue of Spider-Man where he, instead of just drawing a boot, like a Spider-Man boot, his toes are visible through the costume. It's not good.
Got those Vibram shoes, huh?
Yeah,
That is odd.
he's like that one weird kid you had you went to school with in high school who was like really into Naruto and bought those like split toe shoes.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone had one of those kids.
I had the Super Saiyan kid, and whenever he would get mad, he'd,
Marco, we know that was you.
no way, dude, you kidding me? I had some social awareness.
That's strong when he's playing his card game.
No comment.
You jump straight to Super Saiyan 5.
So the other one from Phase 5 to talk about is Thunderbolts, which got a release date, July 26, 2024. It's the last movie of Phase 5, which I think is kind of weird that they would end on that note. Not that I know what Thunderbolts is going to be, but just based on what it popularly is in the comics, it doesn't seem to synergize well with entering the new phase or saying anything relevant about the multiverse saga.
So Kevin Feige even said that Thunderbolts will include characters we haven't met yet. So
Right.
I'm excited to see who they introduce. Moonstone. You got to introduce Moonstone. Like,
Yeah, you have to introduce Moonstone, you have to introduce Songbird. There's certain people you have to have.
think about who could
But-
be showing up in Daredevil right before, because he said yet, but it still might be before Thunderbolts comes
Right.
out. So maybe a little bullseye action showing up there.
Could be. But they have to make space as well for what I assume is what is being built up to by Julia Louis-Dreyfus over there.
Yeah,
I am
yeah.
assuming that this is her team. So it's going to have to include characters we already, have been introduced to as well.
Now that you mention Julia Louis-Dreyfus, I kind of want Jason Alexander to play MODOK. I've changed my mind.
That's funny.
That
Yo.
Just full on George.
I cannot
Oh my
wait to
God.
see US Asian again. He was one of my favorite characters.
Me too. Yeah, I thought him and Zemo were the best parts of
Yeah.
Falcon and Winter Soldier. So like both of them are going to be in this most likely. So
Right.
I'm pretty
Oh,
excited. for
Zemo
that.
too?
Zemo is traditionally the head honcho.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I'm hyped for that.
In a superhero costume in the comics, like he puts on a front. So
He's
Right.
that weird purple ski mask or some shit.
no, he becomes Citizen 5 or Citizen V. I never
don't
know how to
remember.
pronounce it, but yeah.
So, what do you guys make overall of Phase 5? Quick thoughts on the big picture of it.
Well, I think Feige's been seeing the internet buzz lately of people being annoyed with Phase 4, so he's like, it's ending. Get
Let's
right
move
to
this
5.
one. Yeah.
In
yeah,
case of
let's-
emergency, break Phase 5 glass. Because it made everyone forget about it, and there's no more, is Phase 4 boring kind of think pieces. So, smart move.
I'm excited for it, with exception to Guardians of the Galaxy, and maybe Echo.
Really?
I feel like Echo didn't really stand out necessarily. I didn't realize that was one of the characters that was even in Hawkeye, and Guardians of the Galaxy. We just got a taste of them in Thor, and I remember seeing them and not feeling, wow, it's so good to see them again. I just kind of numb to Guardians of the Galaxy specifically, and so for that one I'm like, all right, fine, I think I know what it's going to be in terms of the beats and the jokes, especially coming out of out of seeing Thor and how much they lean into a lot of the bits, and this is another James Gunn bit, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to play into those same kind of tropes that he has, and they're allowing directors to really lean into it. And now the worry is he going to lean into it too hard? Is the lesson going to be learned? And considering it's coming out in May, which is less than a year away, I don't know. Unless they do some heavy editing or something.
I mean, it's not Taika Waititi, so James Gunn, I guess his most recent work would be Suicide Squad and Peacemaker.
He's on a high. That's a
And
good point.
That was actually really
Those
good.
two, those balance the funny with the dramatic or effed up parts of the bits that they were in. So, honestly, in terms of a superhero flick, I have more faith in James Gunn in that regard.
But you know what? To Marco's point, though, I don't think that it was as balanced in the Guardians films.
Oh, I don't think Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is a good movie at all.
I don't either.
Yeah.
That's funny. C.W. Gordon says it makes him cry every time.
Oh,
Nerd.
good. That's good. I know that it hit people. I just couldn't. I don't know. It didn't do anything. It didn't do anything for me.
I think the thing that stands out to me the most in this announcement of phases is Blade. I think that angle of the Marvel U is probably where we spent the least amount of time.
Yeah.
And I guess even, if you look at the magic angle from like Doctor Strange, Blade is sort of monsters, I guess, which is something that is little covered anymore. I guess with the exception of Morbius's Morbin time. So I'll be excited to see mostly excited to see what happens there.
I'm excited for Blade, and I'm surprised at how soon it's coming out. Like, I didn't expect it to come out next year. Like, in my mind, I guess the time dilation just doesn't really make sense to me. And I was on the record saying World of Wakanda would not come out this year.
Oh yeah.
I was wrong, but
There you go.
so I can't lose faith in them getting the timelines now. So
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think that on paper, I think this looks worse than Phase 4, but I don't think that will be how it actually plays out. Phase 4, I think, had more like standout movies that had you asking big questions, like Eternals, not post them coming out, but before we saw any footage, just looking at it. I think Eternals was one where it's like, wow, that could really be something special. I think Doctor Strange looked like a must-see. Thor, another Thor movie from Taika, Spider-Man. So it had a lot of big things, and then it was the first wave of Disney Plus shows. Here and now, these on paper to me don't look as exciting, but when you talk about Ant-Man and the Wasp and we know what it's going to include, that's really exciting to me. Secret Invasion seems really exciting. The Marvels, now post watching Miss Marvel,
Yep. Oh yeah.
that's looking kind of fun.
That's
Blade. Agatha, I could do without that. I think you could chop that.
I love Catherine Hahn. Give me more Agatha Harkness.
All right, okay.
fine, but like, what are we going to be doing there, right? Like, is this
Yeah.
going to be
Hanging out with Catherine Hahn.
All right,
Okay, I'm in.
I hope.
and then-
all I want is Bova to show up in that.
Who? Nova?
Bova.
Oh, who's Bova?
Bova these
These
nuts.
nuts.
No, Bova is Bova is the cow that raised Quicksilver and
right.
Scarlet Witch. I couldn't help myself there though, Sean. You kind of fell right into
That's
that
same.
one. But Bova is a character.
I was like, surely he's not going to walk into that.
And then Daredevil, Cap, those are exactly what I want. And I think Thunderbolts is the wild card in that we don't know. We think we know what it's going to be, but it would be very Marvel to take Thunderbolts and flip it because that's what it's supposed to be. So we don't know, but looks fun.
Any omissions here that surprised you?
Yes. Armor Wars, where is it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Where's the werewolf bite night thing that we're supposed to be getting this Halloween?
Oh, yeah,
Right.
that's right.
Where's
Yeah.
Deadpool 3? Feige just talked about it today.
Where's the Guardian special?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were supposed to do a Christmas special.
I hope they reference Life Day. I hope they make fun of the Star Wars Christmas special.
So interesting stuff there. And then it's also worth pointing out before we move on that 3 of these movies have directors. Blade has a director, Bassam Tariq.
Oh.
Captain America: New World Order's director is Julius Ona. And then Jake Schreier will be directing Thunderbolts, which we knew, or it was rumored anyway. So
Cool stuff. Can't
yeah,
wait.
yep. But we're still living in Phase 4 time. and there are 3 Phase 4 projects left to go. Those being Black Panther, She-Hulk, and I Am Groot, which I guess you could even discount as a Phase 4 project. It's just a thing that's happening in this time. Let's talk about the Black Panther Wakanda Forever trailer. Of course, everyone's been waiting for this trailer to drop. The movie is coming out in November, so it's time. It's a very, very emotional trailer, even
Yeah.
that belies an even more emotional movie. That seems like it's actually almost even framed as a way of coping or dealing with the real life death of Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah, I think just like the way it opens, the music, the shots on the beach, what seems to be almost like a procession going down, like all of that speaks to that. And I like how it's framed in contrast to this potential war with Atlantis, where they're going through this like strife and this challenge, and the world doesn't stop. Right? The world continues, and as much as we're here to mourn, the next sort of things have to keep going. Like things still have to happen, and I thought that was an interesting. I thought that was an interesting approach, because you could have very much made it, like just focused around either the battle aspect or the loss of Chadwick Boseman, but the fact that they put those two pieces together, I think speaks. It was a hype trailer. Like that made it that much more emotional for me.
I mean, for me, I got 2 words for this: Angela Bassett. I'm like,
Yo.
holy fuck.
Dude, I wouldn't mind seeing her become the Black Panther for a few minutes.
Yo, she fucking acts her ass off in this.
Her presence.
Yeah, yeah. That mixed with the music that they had going on. They had Bob Marley's "No Woman No Cry," a cover of it by, I think, Thames. Yeah, and then it goes into Kendrick. Like, it goes into like that mourning thing to like, oh no, this is who we are. Like, which is the theme of like these characters finding themselves in the absence of the Black Panther, and then the discovery of a new Black Panther. I was like, oh fuck, I am into
That was well done.
Yeah, and the 2 other things that I really liked about the trailer is that it doesn't seem to be setting Namor up as a villain. It seems to be setting him up as an antagonist, but he doesn't get like scene chewy Marvel villainy in this.
Yeah,
he doesn't get the same feel that like Taskmaster had when the Black Widow trailer came out. This feels like almost a foil to what's going on in Wakanda. Like, we even see like his birth in this. It feels like we're there to empathize with Namor and Atlantis. So, which is going to be even more devastating when we have to see them fight, because it's going to be over something like some kind of misunderstanding that's, maybe being driven on by a third party.
I'm wondering if. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I like how this is also about like Wakanda as a nation, and it's talking about like their presence in the Marvel universe. This is about the country of Wakanda, and it seems like there's kind of a global aspect for it that I really enjoy.
I'm wondering if Namor won't be positioned as a weapon of Atlantis, similar to how the Black Panther is their leader, yes, but also their weapon.
Interesting.
And that Atuma and the rulers of Atlantis are pushing for this invasion, and Namor's conflicted because he is part human, but he goes through with it anyways, and then maybe they end up turning on Atuma or whatever.
Did you see the actor playing Atuma? That dude was taller than Winston Duke. The guy is huge.
Yeah.
Can I make a wild speculation?
Please.
This feels a very global movie. I bet at the end credits we see Doctor Doom.
We've talked about this before.
I feel like,
and I don't think that's gonna happen.
We're getting Latveria at minimum. At maximum, we're seeing Doom like the first time we saw Thanos.
All right, we're gonna have to because
you can show him off without casting him yet.
Yeah, you can. Like they did it with Thanos. They did do that with Thanos.
Show his fucking cape. Every nerd will jizz their pants and
just show a little bit of a metal face. The cleaning crew for those showings would be insane. afterwards.
Oh God.
It's gonna be like the first week of 50 Shades back there.
Yep.
Just
Yikes.
loose cucumbers in the back rows.
You know what I'm thinking? What reason are they gonna give for T'Challa's death?
Okay, I was wondering about that.
No
I
idea.
hope they just say it's cancer. Like, I hope they're honest with it.
Interesting.
Because I doubt Wakanda has the cure for cancer. You know what I mean? Like, if they have the cure for cancer and they're holding it back from the rest of the world, they're kind of assholes. So, like, you can say he just died of cancer. Like, he died of a disease that was uncurable.
Yeah.
Or just say he
I
died.
don't-
You know, like,
I think audiences will have a lot of trouble with that.
Like it's too straightforward.
Yeah. And too sudden for the character.
I
You
can't
know,
think of another
and
way.
especially, and obviously, you know, this is on this side of this film, but we don't know what's going to happen with the character of T'Challa or the Black Panther. You know, if they're going to recast T'Challa, you know, how's that going to work?
They're
That's gonna be
definitely not
crazy.
recasting T'Challa. I can almost guarantee that.
I still think that there's a world where T'Challa is recasted for either a third movie or a fourth movie. And I think they might even just use the multiverse or something along those lines to get it done.
Sure.
But I just feel like that character has to be in the MCU.
So you're thinking he T'Challa, our T'Challa dies and another comes in and just replaces?
I mean, post. I mean, we'll get to it, but post whatever this last movie they announced. I don't want to spoil our discussion here. Anything could happen, I think. So
Sure. Yeah. Speaking of which, yeah, I'm sure we'll talk a lot about this movie going forward. So we'll table that conversation for the time being, because we do have quite a few other things to talk about. All in all, though, this was a phenomenal trailer. Watch it if you haven't seen it. I think this movie is going to be something really special.
Yeah. And shout outs to Tenoch Huerta, the guy who's playing Namor, because I saw it on at least like on Twitter and people that I follow on Instagram, the hype around the fact that it's like a Hispanic actor and character based off that. You know, everyone was flipping out because it felt special too.
Agreed.
and also a majority-led female cast. It's big. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Marvels will be similar.
Yep.
Speaking of female casts and female leads, let's talk about She-Hulk. So She-Hulk is going to be dropping here on August 17th, so not too long to wait. We have seen a She-Hulk trailer already. I think this one blew it out of the water. Whereas before, I was like, all right. This trailer made me think that I'm actually going to like this, maybe on par with Miss Marvel.
Did the CG get better? Am I just tricking myself?
I've been asking myself that question too, and I think I'm too in it to.
Yeah,
to
I
know.
think so too. Yeah.
Yeah.
It probably set fire to another VFX studio, and
Yeah. I mean,
got it
or
all
blacklisted
fixed and
one of the
everything.
ones that couldn't do it.
yeah,
yeah.
This didn't do too much for me, Sean. I don't remember how I was feeling necessarily prior. Like I don't know that I was necessarily excited, but if this was meant to like hype me more or even get me on board, it didn't.
That's surprising. The show about the 6'7" woman isn't getting you interested.
Who am I, Sean? Come on.
She wasn't wearing gloves in this.
No, she wasn't.
This looks goofy. I like how this feels. I love that she breaks the fourth wall in this.
Yep.
I didn't think they would actually go ahead and do that. I thought that was like going to be a Deadpool thing going forward. You know, Deadpool's coming in. Nobody else is allowed to do it. No, She-Hulk was doing it before Deadpool ever did in the comics. So she's kind of the originator or something like that. So I'm excited for that. The supporting cast looks bonkers. Was that the Wrecking Crew that I saw? Like
Yep.
a goofy version of the Wrecking Crew?
yep.
I saw a guy with a crowbar and a guy with like a pile driver helmet. I was like, yo,
all
shit,
their-
is this?
in all their fucking sleeveless hoodies.
Yeah, but they had the right colors, and I was like, oh, okay, hold on.
Love that.
Frogman's showing up. I have an idea of who that was at the end of the trailer, and it's not who everyone else thinks it is.
You don't think that was Daredevil?
No, I don't. I think it's a swerve.
Who do you think that was?
I think it's
Is it
D-Man.
D-Man?
I think it's D-Man.
Oh, that's so annoying.
I feel like that tracks better with what this show is. Like, I
Oh
think
my
we'll get
God.
Matt Murdock, and then it'll be D-Man. And there'll be like a joke like, is that... No, it's not.
Interesting.
Because it's the yellow and red. I don't think it's...
Yeah.
I don't
That
think
makes
it's...
sense.
I don't think they're doing that for Daredevil.
This Daredevil.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And D-Man is like on the same tier as the Wrecking Crew and Frogman. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
And She-Hulk.
yeah.
Okay. I really think that She-Hulk seemed likable. She
Welcome
came
to-
across as a
yeah.
character whose world I'm excited to live in. Like, I want to see her story, see what she goes through on a day-to-day. Not even necessarily... This is the one project where I'm not even necessarily caring about the big picture. I just want to see her do things. It gives me
Me
like
too.
slice of life, like Sex in the City type of vibes where I want to laugh with her, see what she goes through, like that. But then there's a superhero element.
Do the listeners
you-
know that you're a Sex and the City fan? Is that you outing yourself on the show finally?
Oh, shoot. I don't know if I've ever talked about that, but I'm a
No,
huge,
yeah.
huge Sex in the City fan. Yeah.
Did you fall in love with She-Hulk a little bit in the trailer, or?
I think I might have. I love She-Hulk from the comics, but man,
welcome to Tatiana Maslany too, who is
Yeah.
so
incredible.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
If you, my love for Tatiana Maslany came when I realized she started doing characters on her appearances on Comedy Bang Bang. I was like, oh,
Yeah, absolutely.
you're not just going to be the straight man on this. You're going to do something.
Oh.
Okay, here we go.
Y'all gotta watch Orphan Black. She
Oh,
does,
I know.
so she'll do characters and she plays each. So the show is about clones, right? So she plays each different clone. But not only does she play each different clone, there are times when she'll play each different clone pretending to be one of the other clones. And it's
In the same
so-
scene. Yeah.
in the same scene, and it's so subtle that you'll see her acting as this one clone, but she'll, who's acting as the other clone, but she'll make a mistake as the other clone, and she's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to dive into this. And then I Am Groot.
Next.
I'm Groot.
Yeah, I got nothing to say about that.
Bradley Cooper's coming back for it, so Rocket's going to be in it in some aspect.
I would
Hooray.
expect that.
This is a paycheck for Vin Diesel.
Indeed. But there's bigger news because we found out some interesting details, major details about the start and end of Phase 6. Phase 6 begins with the Fantastic Four.
Aww.
Six?
Phase 6.
They couldn't even nail that down for Phase 4.
Wasn't it originally announced for 4?
It was originally announced alongside all of the
Okay.
Phase 4
Alongside.
projects.
Okay. So it was like an assumption people were making. Okay.
Right. Although I do think there may be something to the idea that Phase 4 was truncated, but I have no idea about that.
Could be coming out of COVID.
Right. But we got a date. And as you all know, if you're a regular listener, you know that I am currently locked in a bet with Kefis, one of the listeners, who bet with me basically that Fantastic Four would not release before the year 2025. And I said, Kefis, my man, you're bugging. It's definitely going to come out before 2025. And so the release date is November 8th, 2024.
They gotta hit that 24. They
That's
gotta
a nail
do it.
biter. That's a nail
So,
biter.
so
It's 37 days.
So all right. So what happens if they push it back? Do you lose the bet?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
It has to release within that window. They can delay it up to 37 days, but if they go past that, I lose the bet. Now, I'll tell you this. I think there is a 0% chance that this movie is delayed into 2025, barring some insane disaster. Like in a sense of like COVID getting worse, something bad happening in the world. I think
Another
if it's
pandemic.
business, right?
Monkeypox!
If it's business as usual, this movie hits its release.
I don't know. We'll see. I think, dude, it's too close.
Why?
It's too close to like
2.5 years.
2.5 years, but it's too close to the end of the year for them to not have that flexibility and just be like, actually, we're just gonna push this.
I would say if it does get delayed, it gets delayed to Christmas time.
I was just thinking that.
Because it's a family movie, you know?
Yep.
So
And even then, November 8th was that Black Panther spot, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
For what do you
Wakanda?
mean?
For the first one.
Oh.
No, for the first one.
Oh, right. Okay.
It was Black Panther or Thor. One of them came out, and it was the only, film that was out, that was any good at that particular time, because November 8th is a nothing spot.
They always try to get that November
Yeah.
spot. They've got Black Panther 2 coming out this November. I feel like this movie comes out in November, but if it doesn't, December, I don't think it gets delayed past 2024. I really don't. That is the only piece of news we got about Fantastic Four. Just the release date. No director, which I was disappointed by. I thought we would hear director stuff. Cast, I kind of feel like this far out, or this close rather, we kind of need to start hearing about cast, but they still have D23. So I'm not worried about that.
we did get some news today from Kevin Feige. But not real news. He pretty much just confirmed it's not going to be an origin story.
I didn't hear that, so that's really exciting.
Yeah, he said everyone kind of understands this origin already. So
For the Fantastic Four?
It's a little presumptuous.
I was a little
Mr. Feige.
yeah. I thought it was a little presumptuous too, but
think we read
I'm
comics
fine
or
with
some
it not
shit?
being an origin.
It's worth pointing out when Kevin Feige says that Kevin Feige notoriously does not like origin stories in these films. He's talked about it many times. I never believed this was going to be an origin. I'm holding on to my theory that the Fantastic Four are returning from a trip that they took in the 60s, and they got pushed forward to now through the quantum
Lightyear
realm
style.
or something like that.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking. So I just actually finished reading FF, like the first volume, and in it, they're traversing like the different universes.
Yep.
I was thinking, oh, they're just gonna, now that the multiverse is a thing, they were just out exploring multiverses because they're the ones that understood it first and like happened to just didn't share that information and decided to go do scientific shit. And then now they're coming back and like, oh, everybody fucking knows about this shit. Well, all right, cool. Like now we can talk at the same level
mean-
because Reed's there.
It's called the multiverse saga. I kind of like that. I like that idea. And also, I feel like I want them to be more established. I don't want an origin because that means we can get Valeria and Franklin. Because we have to deal with that origin and that build up. I want them to like have the kids already.
That seems like a lot.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know how they would get to the kids. I mean, she could just Sue can.
Well,
just
when a
get
man and a
pregnant,
woman
but-
really love each other.
And
They
sometimes
adopt.
don't.
Yeah, true.
But I feel like that's a lot to introduce so soon. But Kevin Feige believes they don't need an origin at all, so maybe it's not. We'll see. Interesting that it's going to be the first film of Phase 6. They did say that. I think that's a very logical place to start, especially given what's coming. And I feel like they need these characters to be on the board.
For what's coming.
Exactly, and we might as well get to it. So they announced how Phase 6 will begin and how it will end. Phase 6 will be ending with 2 Avengers movies. One is called Avengers: The Kang Dynasty, and the second is called Secret Wars.
Whoa.
That's the noise that I
Whoa.
made.
Yeah. Two
Tyler, you got that
Avengers
rag
movies.
on hand?
Yeah, I'll mail it to you. Two Avengers movies in 1 year.
Yeah. Yeah. The release dates on those, I have them here. But yeah, two Avengers movies dropping in 1 year. That is a lot. Both coming out in 2025. May 2nd, 2025 for Kang Dynasty. Secret Wars November 7th, 2025. So again in that early November space. Yeah, this is wild. This is absolutely wild.
And we've got confirmation that the Russos have nothing to do with these movies. So interesting.
Allegedly.
And
We know the
already
Kang.
have- Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, we know
Yeah.
who's doing Kang Dynasty. Yeah.
Right. So we know who's doing Kang Dynasty. It's Destin Daniel Cretton, the guy that did Shang-Chi. Marvel is giving him the ball for a major tentpole film. I still think that Secret Wars could be directed by the Russos. This is their baby. This is their thing.
I hope not.
So we're getting a Secret Wars that has Doom then, right? Like it's
We don't know.
obligatory, right?
I don't know, man.
Come on, if FF's Fantastic Four is coming out before then, you have to set him up somewhere. Like it just makes sense.
I don't think that anything they could do with Doom in a Secret Wars movie would feel earned if his first appearance is Fantastic Four within that same calendar year.
Yeah. That's why I'm saying seed him soon. I'm just saying.
He'd have to have
Yeah, he would.
legitimate appearances that I don't think they're ready to do.
Oh, what if Thunderbolts is like a Suicide Squad type story where they're invading Latveria to get some intel that Doom has?
That could be
cool.
fun. I'd like that.
Oh.
Kel, what are your
No.
thoughts?
I was wondering, are we assuming this is similar to Infinity War and Endgame, sort of a part 1, part 2
It's got to be
situation?
Glad you said that. So I think what we're looking at is okay. So for all of us who watch Loki, we know that there are Kangs all over the multiverse. Every universe has a Kang, just like most other things. And these Kangs ended up at war with each other. And so our Kang, the old Kang, Immortus, he basically sealed off the multiverse so that there would be no war between the Kangs. Now, this movie is called the Kang Dynasty. That's a name from the comics. I don't think that this movie will have... Sorry?
It's a Kurt Busiek story, I believe.
It is.
Yeah.
It's Kurt. It's Alan Davis. It's Kieran Dwyer. It's Ivan Reese and many others. It's a 16-part story. That story has nothing to do, likely, with what the movies are going for. I think they took the name. But the Kang Dynasty has an alternate title, which is the Kang Wars. And I believe that would be the name of this movie if Secret Wars wasn't attached to it. Why? Because I think this movie is going to show us the war between all the Kangs. And I think they're going to tie that into the incursions, which we learned about in Doctor Strange. We know that these Earths from the multiverse go head to head, and the winner lives, the other universe dies. I think they're going to tie that into the Kang deal, and that by the end there will be one God Kang. He will create Battle World, and that will be Secret Wars.
Sean, I'm just
That's
thinking
my
of
theory.
that meme you sent me of like Kang when he sees the Avengers and it's just Kamala Khan, Ant-Man.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, that's my theory.
I'm
don't
cool with
hate it.
that. Yeah. This feels like Kang Dynasty feels like a classic Avengers story in movie form.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where it's like maybe even like a B-list Avengers team and they're just fighting a villain. But I feel like it's going to lead into the clusterfuck that will be Secret Wars. Which I wouldn't be surprised if we get some wacky shit in Secret Wars. Because this is the culmination of the multiverse saga, too.
Right.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we get weird shit like Hugh Jackman or fucking Wesley Snipes. Just bring him back for a bit, you know, like just weird shit.
They're gonna go all out for Secret Wars
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have to.
I was surprised out of all of this that we didn't get X-related stuff, like X-Men related stuff, especially.
There are empty spots.
Yeah.
This is Phase 6 is only 3 movies right now. This will be flooded in a couple of years. We're gonna know
enough.
so much about this. But I'm not gonna talk about it here. I want to save it for the main show, so tune in. But I've read a rumor as to, and if it's true, it makes perfect sense why we haven't seen anything for the X-Men, and the answer is because Marvel actually can't. But we'll talk about that.
Oh, I saw that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
What? Dang it.
Get
Yeah.
all
To
that
listen to
money.
this fucking show to hear about this? Come on.
So that's it for the Marvel film stuff. I thought Marvel brought it. I think they, their announcements are fun. Phase 5 is pretty much what we knew it would be. Only really 3 new things announced for it. So a little dry on that front, but clarity on the next Avengers and the Fantastic Four stuff I think is great.
What was do we have a rough release date for the Avengers?
Yeah, so the release dates are, I just freaking had that and I said them, but I don't remember them now.
I think one of them's in May.
May, late May, I believe, and then November 7th for Secret Wars 2025.
Man, that November slot seems to be like their bomb slot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. May 2nd, November 7th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, big time stuff. Let's get into the comics. How about that? We do that too.
I'll
Yeah.
read those.
It's what the movies are based on.
Huh. You surely have that backwards.
Maybe.
CW Gordon said they Matrix 2 and 3ing this shit, except hopefully not atrocious. Hey man,
Whoa,
I
whoa, whoa! That's
love
fighting
those
words.
movies. Yeah, please. You're the number one Twitch commenter, but
What if the Wachowskis do Secret Wars?
you just
All right. Yeah, I
like,
just blew your mind.
whoa.
Yeah, I can fuck with that.
That'd be cool.
Wow. All right. So Marvel makes comics, and they had several things to announce here at San Diego Comic-Con. Not nearly as exciting as the stuff that they had to talk about on the film front. I think it was a little bit lower key, but still some fun stuff. And I think especially the first thing we're going to talk about has got you guys riled up at least. So Marvel announced Doctor Strange Fall Sunrise from Trad Moore, the co-creator of Robbie Reyes, who is a Ghost Rider. We know Doctor Strange is dead, but that doesn't matter. You can still do a miniseries about the guy. And so they announced that we're going to get a 4-issue miniseries in November.
Yeah. Give me Trad more. Yeah. Yes.
Trad Moore just did this with Silver Surfer Black, which was
Real good.
like a mind blowing, just a visual experience that was fantastic.
Yeah.
So seeing that he's going to be doing more stuff in Doctor Strange, which is like, oh man, like I didn't realize how much that works. You know, like it didn't really click with me until I saw him draw this like long haired Doctor Strange. Oh yeah, I've been a Trad Moore fan since Luther Strode,
Same. Same.
which is a great series of books. Trad Moore is one of those names where like I will follow Trad Moore on whatever book he's on. So
Yep.
It's funny. I always forget about him until I hear his name and see his art,
Yep.
and I go, "Oh yeah!"
This guy. Yeah. The preview images that the article that's linked has are phenomenal. The art looks like it's gonna be it's gonna be an artist showcase. This is gonna be a Beta Ray Bill kind of thing, you know?
Yep.
Yeah. I think you guys are right. It looks awesome. That's not the only thing we got from Marvel Comics, because they announced 2 comics for comic book fans who are trapped in the 80s and 90s.
Or 2000s with this one.
2000s with
Yeah.
this one, but this is like a 90s holdover type. I feel like the first like 2 or 3 years of any decade are still trapped in the last decade.
Yeah.
Decades don't express themselves until like the middle. And I think that's what we're seeing with this. So Marvel announced the return of Extreme X-Men. Chris Claremont and Salvador LaRocca are going to be returning for this. It's from 2001. So that phase of the X-Men where like they hadn't quite kind of gotten with the times. But we have it's going to be, just like a continuation of that, spiritually at least.
gotta say
Storm,
this-
Rogue, Bishop, Beast, Gambit, Sage, Thunderbird.
The
Who do you
LaRocca art on
think-
the cover is pretty good. Like, it's not that kind of gross LaRocca I remember from, like, Alien most recently.
I'm a LaRocca
whoa.
fan.
Alien
So-
wasn't that bad.
It
yes,
looked
it was.
greasy. Like, everyone looked like they haven't showered. Like, the skin was, like, this film all over the skin. It's weird. This seems a little more on the flat side, but,
This looks a little Greg Landy to me.
I mean, that's LaRocca for you.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Who do you think he's gonna use as photo references for these people?
Porno.
All right, great.
Learn from the best.
I don't know. This kind of thing's just not for me. I don't have nostalgia for those books, and I bought some of the ones that they had put out, and I bought them, and I was like, why? Why did I do this? I'm not into this. So
Wait until, like, 5 years from now when you start getting Bendis on a new Avengers story that was in between, his runs on it. Like, then you'll be speaking a different story there.
you're right. And then there will be some young whippersnapper on some other podcast dunking on it and how it's not for them and it sucks. So there you go. I'm not
too
saying
quippy.
this sucks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who,
Everyone talks too much.
Nobody cares about Luke
who's-
Cage.
Who's the girl behind Wolverine? The
Rogue.
cover here.
Rogue.
Oh, okay. I didn't recognize the red.
I honestly,
Who's behind her?
Bishop.
Bishop.
2000s, man.
My man's
Um,
never even seen
I
a
w-
comic book.
I was
those
kind of
people.
excited. I wanted it to be the most recent Extreme X-Men, where there was like an alternate reality Wolverine and Hercules that were a couple.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know about
pretty
that.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
What
the
is-
other flashback series that they announced is Spider-Man: The Lost Hunt.
Couldn't have
So
stayed
this
lost?
is sorry.
I couldn't have stayed lost.
This is, of course, a reference to and will feature, spiritually, some kind of a lost story, I guess, from the The Last Hunt story, Craven's Last Hunt, from the 1980s. Of course, J.M. DeMatteis wrote that and is writing this. Apparently, there was a tease of this in the Ben Reilly series that just ended a while ago. This is going to be a 5-issue mini in November. This is so clearly like a tie into the movie.
I wasn't
Yeah.
getting that at all. I was getting this is just nostalgia bait. So I use for the images when we do pals pulls, I use leagueofcomicgeeks.com for my covers that I use for the images. And they sort everything by the amount of users that have decided to pull this issue. Consistently, these anachronistic flashback series are some of the top pulled books.
Oh, I'm sure.
And from what I've heard from comic shops, these books sell like crazy. So like, they're working for people.
I'm just saying. I think that this falls into that category. That's great, but it just so happens they're making a movie that they're going to want to have something on the stands for.
Beef up Craven's name just a little bit more.
Yeah, a nice new mini.
Yeah.
To give as that trade when someone walks in.
Does the perspective on that cross look a little funny?
It's dilapidated,
looks-
Marco. What do you
it
expect?
looks, but it looks like it's angled off, like the circle and the direction that it's facing. It looks.
Spider-Man
at
also
us.
has his arm over a knife that is like perspective
Okay.
is being played with here.
To imagine it's also an old grave, so
Yeah.
that is being leaned on by a 200-pound man.
With the strength of a proportional strength of a spider. Those fuckers are strong.
Just bend the rock.
Even this cover like looks like it's like meant to be for a trade. Like it's so
It feels like
clean and like
it feels like a Del Otto Marvel OGN cover.
word, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
Family Business, remember that?
CW Gordon says, "Who's that guy in the background meant to be? It looks nothing like Aaron Taylor Johnson."
It's true. I hope they make him look like Raven. Like give him full on mustache.
Yeah, go do it. There was a tease for a Fantastic Four new creative team. Dan Slott and Sarah Pacelli Dan Slott's leaving the Fantastic Four. We don't know who the team's going to be. Even today, San Diego Comic-Con was days ago now. We haven't gotten an update as far as I know about who this team will be.
No, I don't think so.
Quick guesses, or not guesses, but like who you want to see.
I have two
take
guesses.
over. Okay.
Two guesses. I think this is going to be. This is alluding to that the Fantastic Four is moving to the West Coast because I think that's a status quo shift that they can do. Because the compass is pointing towards the west. And I think under writer it says N North. It could be Ryan North.
No.
I'm not against that.
Huh. I just found out he's doing what the hell? I just found out he's doing the Star Trek Lower Decks comics,
Yeah.
and man, that makes me want to pick those up.
I want to see Al Ewing get his shot at the Fantastic Four.
It'd be good.
Are there any artists named South?
Haha.
CW Gordon says, pointing at the compass is pointing at WE. Warren Ellis on FF.
You know what? That would probably be pretty good.
That'd be cool.
Compass pointing west?
East.
East, I thought you said west.
It's probably not Sheedy, right?
No,
He's doing stuff.
It's Skeety.
it's
Oh, that's
it
right.
is Skeety.
Skeety.
Yes.
Skeety.
But he's busy because he's working with one Jonathan Hickman on we don't know what.
Oh, mystery.
All we got is a teaser. What happens when the powers that be meet the natural order of things? Hickman, Skeety, 2023.
It's Illuminati, the comic.
Oh, don't tell me these things. You mean like the Marvel Universe Illuminati?
Yeah. But I bet
You
you
think
can throw
Hickman's
it.
going to go back to that?
I think so, and I think he brings back Da Vinci into it, like some of his like bring Nick Fury into it, bring Da Vinci, bring like a new Illuminati, like a modern Illuminati for it. That's what I want.
Maybe like post Krakoa, that makes sense too, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Look at what would Xavier be like during this, and also like the powers that be. Oh, who always thought they were the powers that be?
It's worth pointing out that Hickman has said that he will not be doing any X-Men related books unless he ends up going back to that side of things.
But is that X-Men related?
I took it to mean that he's not going to do anything with X-Men people. That's the vibe I got.
He's not
You
gonna
can
touch
still
it.
do Illuminati without Professor X.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I'm just saying that. I don't think it will feature any mutants at all. And I'm not down on that idea. I would love to see an Illuminati comic book. But it's kind of interesting. Hickman he said he's been working on this for 3 years. Cool. Is this it? Is this all Marvel's paying Hickman to do?
Just build a corner of the universe and let other writers take over.
Again.
Yeah, you know
Well, I
what? If
mean-
he's getting paid for that. Well, shit.
His the Substack stuff might be changing, so he might be free again.
You get a little time.
Yeah.
And then this is presumably Skeety's first project post what are we reading?
I almost said
Oh,
Dark
Judgment
Crisis on
Day.
Infinite
Right?
Earths.
Yeah,
Judgment Day.
Yeah.
So
No, Avengers, X-Men, and the Eternals. Marvel presents Judgment Day.
There you go.
Yes.
Thank you, Marco. Keeping the gimmick alive. Is he now an event level artist where he's not working on regular books? Would that mean that this is an event?
I would say Skidi is now A tier for Marvel. He's like one of their top guys. So I think a Hickman book is an event in itself. I don't think it's a Marvel event necessarily, but I think it's like it's a big ass deal. It's like, 2010 a new Bendis book came out. It's you get your top artist for it. It's like when Spider-Man gets a new creative team. Like, oh, who do we get for fucking Spider-Man? Most of the time.
Fair enough. Well, I don't know when we're going to hear more about this. I'm thinking this is something we'll hear more about like later on. But it's exciting.
New York Comic Con, hopefully.
That would be great. Yeah,
Maybe, yeah.
I can see that.
I find New York Comic Con being more comics focused when it comes to like the big two. So
Marvel Comics announcements not really that exciting this year at San Diego. But
No.
to Tyler's point, I think we'll probably get a lot more cooler things from NYCC, especially because NYCC is much closer to the next summer than San Diego is. Like we're still in Judgment Day mode. By New York Comic Con, we'll be thinking, what's the next event? And we'll probably hear about it there.
Sure. Yeah. Honestly, like the biggest thing that I popped off on was Chad Moore doing stuff.
Right.
Otherwise, whatever.
Let's talk a little bit about. Let's get away from the big two because there were a few announcements that I thought were really fun. So in the I never thought this would ever happen, but I'm so excited for it category. There's a fucking Gargoyles comic book coming out from
did
Dynamite.
it, boys. We did it.
Wow.
Gargoyles.
From
not just
Dynamite.
not just coming out. It is a continuation of the Gargoyles comic they put out in the 90s. Like it's apparently a direct continuation of it. So, and they will be reprinting the trades from back then, which I believe were Marvel comics.
Okay, cool. So I'll just skip this. That's fine.
Why? No, this is.
I never
This
watched.
is new. There's new comics.
No, well, this is a continuation of old comics, which means it's not good.
I don't know if the team's the same, but I think
Well, I mean,
storyline-wise,
yeah.
And it's Dynamite, so
yeah, I would say if you would have started off there, I would have agreed with you.
yeah, y'all have
Wait,
fun.
no. No, that's not even true. It's continuing from the animated show, not the comic.
Oh, I must have misread something. That's on me then. Yeah.
No worries. Yeah, it's continuing. It's continuing on from the show.
All right.
and Greg Weisman, who is the creator of the show, is going to be a part of this. Not necessarily the writer, but he's going to help run the series.
McFarlane style, sounds like.
That's yeah. To me, that's pretty damn cool. I love the Gargoyles.
I never watched.
Oh
It's
man,
good.
I
It's
love,
Give it a
I
whirl.
love
A
Gargoyles.
lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's on
Yeah.
HBO Max, I think.
It's on
It's
Disney,
on Disney
Plus.
Plus. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Which I
These are
mean, with the next book
coolest
that we're
toys.
talking about, I don't know why Disney doesn't just consolidate all their properties into one publisher.
I know it's so weird. but
Why does this go to Dynamite and the next book we'll talk about goes IDW? Like, what are you doing?
they announced a Darkwing Duck? That's what Tyler's referencing. Coming to IDW.
Now we're speaking my language. Let's go.
No, well, if you're using your basis for things, it's coming from IDW though.
When have I ever
that's pretty
said a
good.
bad thing about IDW?
Well, you just said it's coming out from the Gargoyle books coming out from Dynamite.
Yeah, Dynamite.
Disparaging the name.
Dynamite publishes garbage.
They're doing Vampirella and Betty Page and Betty Page meets Vampirella.
Yeah, I know what I said.
Whoa! Their Red Sonja stuff is awesome. You never gave
Okay.
that a shot?
Okay, great. So they have one.
Well, that's just what I read. I mean, my God, dude, that's such a harsh statement.
There was a Mark Russell Red
over
Sonja
there,
that was
Gail
okay, yeah.
Simone. They've got talented people.
Only on Red Sonja, and for 3 issues.
Wow. The Gail Simone Red Sonja stuff ran for a while. Oh, it was good. But Darkwing Duck, I mean, yo, there's no reason not to be hyped for this. This is so cool.
Yeah, dude,
Admission.
Darkwing Duck fucking rules,
Admission. I never watched Darkwing Duck.
Yeah, same actually.
man.
All right, fair enough.
My only
Matt says-
problem with
Matt said Dynamite is Neckbeard City. That kind of tracks. I don't know. Like I don't know how to explain how that makes sense, but it does.
my
Yeah,
only
James
problem
Bond.
with Darkwing Duck is he's a friend to the capitalist. That sucks.
Unless they play on that, but it's IDW, so probably not.
So they won't. Yeah.
So yeah, just a couple of cute announcements there. I will definitely be picking up both of those.
Any creative team or anything on Darkwing Duck?
Not that I
Anything
found.
notable? Okay.
No. Oh well, the one notable thing seemed to be that it's going to be not just one book; it's going to be a series of books and graphic novels and things like that. So they're kind of like doing a whole thing with it.
They
Fuck
also
yeah.
just announced Diamond Select, like Diamond Publishing has a toy line that they just announced a Darkwing Duck action figure. So it smells like
Welp.
a lot of Darkwing Duck. And then
There's
the
gotta be
teaser at the end of Rescue Rangers recently.
Was there a teaser at the end of Rescue
There
Rangers?
was a teaser for Darkwing Duck. Yeah.
My
He like breaks the fourth wall and says, "People want me," you know, like.
Hang on, now I don't believe you.
Oh, I'm not lying about this. I wouldn't lie about it. Rescue Rangers was great. Have you not watched that, Kel?
No.
It's right down
it's
your
what,
alley.
It's what it looks like, one of these IP orgies that just I don't give a shit.
It is, but it's fun. One of the major side characters is Tigra from the Avengers cartoon show that ran in like the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah. Where Ant-Man was the leader.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the DC side of San Diego Comic-Con, which
Womp womp.
was kind of not that exciting. So starting with the films, they really only had two things to talk about or show. We discussed whether or not they would bring up the Flash film, and it was not present. They did not discuss it. They didn't talk about it.
What Flash
They
film?
really, sorry,
What Flash film?
right.
Yeah.
They really kept it to Shazam, Fury of the Gods, and Black Adam. So let's just start with Shazam. This is, I believe, the first footage we're seeing from this film. I don't believe there was any other trailer. And it kind of basically shows that, Shazam is, I mean, in a very funny way, he's like a therapist or whatever. And it shows that he's kind of struggling with where things are going. The family is all powerful now, but they're doing their own thing. They're not necessarily doing things as a family the way that they did. He feels a little bit ostracized from them. And he kind of sucks as being a superhero. He's not a trained hero. He's not, poised like Superman. He's a kid. And I think the trailer does a good job of showcasing those things. And then meanwhile, there are these older people, older women primarily, who want the power, apparently. So yeah, it looks cool.
This did nothing for me.
Yeah.
Nothing really hit joke-wise for me in this trailer. It just seemed like more lifeless DC villains, movie villains. Like, I love Helen Mirren. I love Lucy Liu. I couldn't tell you their names in this. They just want a MacGuffin. Like, it's cool to see Digimon Hansu back as the wizard or whatever. Is it just the wizard? Like
Shazam. Yeah.
Yeah. It's cool to see him have a more active role. But, yeah, man, this really didn't do it for me. Which is a bummer because I did enjoy the first Shazam.
It feels like it's just off the trailer. I don't know, going to be a little just like run of the mill. I don't know if there's going to be anything stand out about it. I think the first movie was fun, but beyond that, like, I didn't get too much of it. Like, I didn't get too much out of it. It's not like I think about it, like it just is. And I think this is just gonna be another one of those that it just is. It's a movie that comes out, and
Yeah.
it'll do decent, and then we'll forget about it.
I had more fun watching the Crypto trailer when it first came out than I did this.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't too big a fan of the first one. I thought it was all right, cute, but overall not too impressive to me. Um, I thought this trailer did what it needed to do, but again, it kind of pivots away from what the first one teased from a villain standpoint at the end, and then it introduces these characters that I couldn't care less about. I think DC has a major villain problem. Villains not named Joker, or villains that don't come from Batman's space have pretty much all been bad. Like, who was the good DC movie villain?
Steppenwolf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that they cannot use his primary antagonist, Black Adam, really hurts. It's weird that they sacrificed Shazam to make Black Adam his own guy just because The Rock is playing.
Yeah, yeah. And like Mr. Mind would be such a cool character too if they went for it like they teased, but yeah.
It's wild that this movie exists and is coming out around the same time as a Black Adam film.
Yeah.
Like,
Same
they
here.
need to
Yeah.
be in the same film.
Like similar
whether
time
you
slots.
whether you have a Black Adam film first and then the big fight or whatever, but it's just like, what are we doing here? Like,
And is there really going to be a third Shazam movie? Like, I just don't think that people are clamoring for this. I don't know.
like I love Shazam, love Captain Marvel. The three villains we've had so far are the villains I can name for Captain Marvel.
Savannah, Black
so,
Adam,
like,
Mr. Mind, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, why? Why are we wasting our time here?
Yeah. I do think Shazam has a bigger future in the wider DCU
Yeah,
as a member of the league. But I think as far as solo movies go, until they can tell that story, I don't need more of this. But it's coming out. It will be out this year, I believe, right? No. This is
I thought it was December.
Next year.
it's December. It is December.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is it really?
Another
Yeah,
Christmas movie.
Oh, damn.
So there's that. And then, of course, the next movie we have to talk about is the aforementioned Black Adam, which got a second trailer. I thought this was pretty good. I thought this trailer was
Yeah.
pretty darn good.
There
This
was
is cooler.
Yeah, there was a distinct focus on the JSA, and I was
Yeah.
into it.
Yeah, Pierce Brosnan.
He's working for me. Yeah.
It feels like they're there to stop him, and I don't want them to die. Like, I want them to get reused. I want to see the JSA like elsewhere, and it'd be a shame if they're here just to get destroyed.
It feels like they're there to recruit him, is the way I'm feeling it. It is. Because they show, like, in the trailer, they show him jobbing out Hawkman immediately.
Yeah.
So, like, I think it's going to be known, like, oh, Black Adam is much stronger than all these guys. Maybe Dr. Fate will give him a run for his money. But yeah, man, if this was called Black Adam and the Justice Society, like, I'm into it. I mean, especially since your Justice League ain't doing too well in your movie universe. Maybe just make a whole new Justice team, and if it's JSA, fine with it.
I fuck with that.
I would love that. I think that would be a very bad idea.
Really?
What's like severe,
have to
like completely
agree.
replace them?
Especially in a makeshift way like this. Not
Sure.
obviously no disrespect to the, Pierce Brosnan and, The Rock and all the other actors playing all these other characters, but I don't think these actors and these characters were meant to go past this movie.
Yeah.
Pierce
interesting.
Brosnan
Okay.
at best.
And I think this is a good place for them.
Yeah.
But I don't think they have much of a future. You know, I think fans of the society need to take what they're being given right now.
Sure, yeah. I will give this movie insane credit because they made Hawkman look freaking awesome.
He's one of the best looking characters in the entire DC film universe.
Yeah, which
Awesome.
comic history been shaky with that. TV Hawkman a little shaky. He looks fantastic in this.
The other thing I wanted to say is that it's pretty clear in my mind anyway that this movie will see a team up. That there's some larger threat looming that they probably want Black Adam's help for or something like that.
If you look at the McFarlane action figures, you are right in this sentiment.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Who is it, I guess?
Some demon, some red demon guy.
Great, wonderful.
Yeah.
Another jobber.
Yeah. Like Sadiq or something like that. Yeah,
that turns me off so much. What, like, DC has, I don't want to say their villains are as good as Marvel's, but they have some pretty darn good villains.
Sabak. His name is Sabak. So Black Adam will be fighting a Star Wars card game.
Sweet.
Okay, yeah, maybe that's
That's
where I thought it was.
Pazak.
No, Sabak is what Lando plays.
Oh, okay. Because in the Knights of the Old Republic, it's Pazak.
Don't even talk to me about that game.
Don't talk to me about that game. That's my favorite game.
Well, they just delayed the remake indefinitely.
I know, Tyler. I'm sick about it.
I know.
Guys, don't talk to
mad.
me about this game.
I'm mad.
All right,
I'm mad.
Fair enough.
Sorry, I'm looking up this character now. It's a Fawcett City comic, Fawcett Comics character. So
So that would be the crossover then that they're absolutely missing out
guess
on.
so.
by
He just
Justice
looks like
Society in this
he looks
film.
like Azazel from Marvel. Huh?
Well, let's talk about the DC comic side of things. The biggest thing I feel like they put out, well, the biggest thing they put out is what we're going to end with. But, you know, they announced the official name of Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths in what I have to say is one of the most, like, it's got to be the most, like, comically lame announcements. It's got to be the most comically lame announcement of the year, at least this year. Like, your primary event that you have billed one way, you're now adding to the title on the back end, and that's supposed to get me hyped. I love DC. I read the second issue of Dark Crisis. That shit was awesome. I don't know what you guys were saying, but that shit was fantastic.
Were you not on that
That's what
episode?
I said. That's what I said.
I was not on that episode. I missed that one. That was a great comic book. But to just think that you're going to go from that to, hey, guys, it's Infinite Earths. Okay. Whatever.
Dark Crisis of On Infinite Earths, subtitled Dark Crisis.
Crisis in the dark.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Semicolon. Lights out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything to say about this. Like, we're not going to, you cannot keep the excitement up for Dark Crisis by changing the name in the middle of the run. It's not what's going to do it.
Yeah.
Apparently, you can.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
The sentiment I've seen
Somebody's-
online was like, really, like pretty much across the board. It was like, eh.
Yeah.
Because it's a non thing. It's just weird to do, you know. Like, and you know somebody's gonna be like, hey, I'm looking for Dark Crisis number 5, but I just see Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths, and I feel like that's a little bit different. But could you tell me? And the guy up front's just gonna be like, buy it.
Buy it.
Yeah, it reeks of boardroom to me. Like, it just doesn't, like, was this the plan all along? Like,
I don't get it.
That's what Williamson has said. He said, we've kept the real name a secret from the start because we didn't want to give away what was happening in the middle of the story with the return of the Infinite Earths.
I don't think it's big enough of a reveal to change the title.
It isn't, and I think I said this on the main show, or not the main show, but whenever the hell it was that we referenced this, I would have been more excited for this if it was that the whole time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what it
You
is.
could have made that reveal between the prelude issue and then the main first issue.
Yeah. You open the book and it says Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths. Like, oh, what the heck? But this is just a weird way to do that. it doesn't negate or heighten my excitement on any level.
Oh, or Death of the Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths. Fuck me.
Yeah, yeah. Like
Sure.
we already knew this is what it was leading to. Like the teases were not even teases; they were smacking us in the face. Like none of this was a secret.
CW Gordon says DC presents Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths, Death of the Justice League Aftermath. That is
Still a better title.
quite a name.
Semicolon bedtime.
Something that I was way more excited about than a name change was an announcement of a book called Gotham City Year One.
Yeah.
This is Tom King and Phil Hester.
Hester.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
Hester,
gonna
man, yeah.
Jordy
it's gonna
Blair,
sh-
too.
it's gonna start this year, October, so not that long to wait, I guess. But it's going to be set 2 generations before Batman. It's gonna focus on Slam Bradley,
Come on.
fan favorite.
Come on.
Excuse me? Who is this?
Yeah.
Slam
He was
Bradley.
he was like the main detective character before Detective Comics went to Batman, when it was like a Detective Comics comic.
Whoa! What
Yeah.
the fuck?
I think Tom King brought him up in his Batman run at one point too.
Oh,
That would make sense.
Slam Bradley's been around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You bet he's been around.
He just like reeks of like a Darwin Cook creation is what I like
Yep.
about him. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yep.
can see it.
And like
Along the
Phil
lines of,
Hester,
like,
great.
King Faraday.
Yeah.
For that kind of a style, like a noir kind of detective story, Phil Hester, perfect. Perfect.
Oh,
You think
like-
people are just like
Thank
you think people are like gunning to be on a Tom King book, like artist wise, or is Tom King just get picked in a litter? It's like, hey, I got a
Yeah,
new book
right.
idea.
A la carte.
Yeah.
It's
I think he gets to work with who he wants.
it's been said that everybody's cool working with him because he's a nice guy. And that's
He does seem like a pretty nice dude.
Like that's like everybody's like, oh yeah, Tom King, he's a cool guy. Let's work together.
Yeah. Even
And
though he never
then-
worked in the CIA, but you know.
And then by the way, the books end up pretty damn good. So
Yeah.
Most
Any
of
artist
them.
that wants to draw a war crime wants to be on a Tom King book.
I don't feel like you get to draw that many war crimes in a career.
Did you not read Supergirl? Ugh.
No.
But that's what I mean. Like, you get 1 or 2 shots in your whole career, and
It's true, yeah. Trade's
did
out
that
today,
end,
by the
Tyler?
way. It's very good.
Is it?
I did really enjoy it. Yeah,
I might go back to it.
yeah.
Well, let's talk about the last announcement that we're going to be getting into today. And it's worth pointing out that we're discussing New York Comic Con now, but on the show this Saturday at 10:15 a.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/thecomicspals, we are going to dive deeper into some of this stuff. There's stuff we left off, expansions on some of these stories too. So we will be getting into a lot more stuff from San Diego Comic Con on the main show. But what we're going to end with today is, from the comic standpoint, the most exciting thing to me. This hit me where I live at. Batman Spawn crossover was
go.
announced. Yeah.
Spawn Man.
Todd McFarlane and Greg Capullo are going to do a Spawn Batman comic. It's
Isn't Jim Lee involved in this too?
I don't know if he's creatively involved. I'm not
Okay.
sure.
I know they took a picture, all three of them together.
Yeah. There have been crossovers in the past. There was one in '94, and then there was one that was scrapped. Well, there were two. There was Batman Spawn War Devil, and there was Spawn Batman by Frank Miller and Todd McFarlane.
Interesting.
The former will be reprinted, so that's cool. But
that's
Batman
cool,
Spawn's Batman Spawn's going to be a one shot as of now.
Okay.
So I got this image from Batman Spawn on the stream, and I didn't realize till now that both of them have their main villains are clowns. Like that never really, those pieces never fit before.
Wow, I never thought about that until you
'Cause
said
it has the clown and
pie.
Joker juxtaposed next to each other.
Well, yeah, it makes sense because they're both highly serious, brooding characters.
Yeah.
So their villain is fun, basically.
Just like Sean.
Just like the book.
CW Gordon says, "We ready for the most variant covers in the history of variant covers?"
It's gonna be more than JSA during New 52.
Woof.
Can't beat that. But a Spawn book with Batman. Think about the covers that both characters tend to get and how good those are. Imagine the quality of creators are going to get to do variants for this.
Sean, there's no question that the art's going to be good, right? That's never been the problem, right? We got to wait for the script. That's where it's going to shine.
And the script is being written by Todd McFarlane.
Shine, okay?
If he can keep the news bulletins out, I'll be okay with whatever the product is.
He wants to write 3 pages of Vicky Vale.
But now he's writing Batman, who was written by Frank Miller, The Dark Knight Returns, and that had news bulletins. Mm-hmm. And I feel like maybe that's where Frank got it from. So I'm worried that there might be a deluge of these damn news bulletins, and it's going to be overwhelming.
If we don't get one, frankly, I'm going to be disappointed.
Fair enough.
Frank Millerly.
Oh my God. Shenron, what's up? He says, "You don't believe in McFarlane? Blasphemy." Not in the writing front. No.
Yeah, I've read a Spawn book.
I'm excited. But that's it. That's all we got from DC this year. And from what I read, they didn't even have a booth.
What do they have to announce?
Fair enough.
Nothing.
Fair enough.
Do you think we're so? I remember us mentioning we're maybe gonna get something about Ezra and all that shit. Because we didn't. Are we expecting this for New York Comic Con?
I think they're very much in a wait and see situation where they're going to see where the heat is. Has anything else happened, between San Diego and New York? And what is the pulse? What is the pulse of the people on this issue? I think that right now you couldn't even show the Flash, even if you didn't show the character, the Flash, in the trailer. That's how hot it is right now, I think. By New York Comic Con, maybe you can get away with showing a trailer and not even maybe necessarily having his voice, but having him be in it. Maybe you can get away with that.
Because one of my takeaways from the Shazam trailer was there's another guy in a red suit with a Thunderbolt on, so easily replaceable.
And they actually did show the Flash in that trailer. Notably, they didn't show his face, I don't think.
They made him a blur. They went the Kingdom Come route with him.
Yeah. And CW Gordon makes a good point. So we know that there's a massive overhaul coming, and we're going to talk about this more on the main show. There's a massive overhaul coming. So it makes sense why they wouldn't say much, because they don't have anything. There is nothing past what's the last movie, whatever it is, past the Flash or whatever. There is nothing.
We just got a new follower, Pete from HR, just followed us, and that makes Pete the 100th follower on Twitch.
Hey,
Let's
Pete,
get it.
Thank you for being the 100th follower. Appreciate that.
Don't report it to the company.
He wins a no prize. Send your address, your social security number, and I will get that to you real soon.
As well as all of our HR complaints. So, Marco, you're in trouble.
Uh-oh.
Keep getting strange DMs from Marco. Something about a belt? I don't know.
My dad liked that picture and had no context for it.
First time chat from Pete from HR says, "Oh dang, I was just stoked you had my boy Venom on the animation." Yes, we do. Because Venom is our boy too.
MVC2 Venom? Shit.
Yep.
That's top Venom design, in my opinion.
That is tier 1 Venom.
Yeah.
Agreed.
CW Gordon says 100 sub stream when? What the hell does that mean?
Well, this is 100 followers. CW Gordon. Well, maybe if we do 100 subs, we can talk about something else. But
that would be a monumental thing. Although we could, hey, listen, any reason for us to get together and stream, right? It's always fun.
I do want to try some multiverses sometime soon.
Yeah, dude. Let me know. I mean, if Dynamite wasn't starting in 10 minutes, I'd say let's get it in now.
Same, yeah.
Oh, you can download it now for free, right?
Yeah, it's out.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. Yeah.
Sick. Let's get it.
Yeah. That's okay, CW. But yeah, we're gonna call it here. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. Hanging out with us while we recap San Diego Comic-Con. I think overall it was a fun event. There was a lot of other cool things not necessarily related to the movies or comics. And then there was other stuff related to movies and comics that we just couldn't get to. So overall, really cool. It feels like the event is back in a big way. I think we can look towards maybe a fandom happening, although I think if it was happening, we'd know about it right now. And C2E2's on the horizon. So lots of cool stuff coming up. Thank you guys for joining us. We will see you tomorrow for Pals Pulls. And the main show's on Saturday. So we'll see you then. Until next time, take care, guys.
See you next con.